So suppose I've done my little force calculation here as per the earlier video, and you can see the results still on the screen here. Let's say I want to make a change. Let's say I wanted the mass to be something different instead. So I could go back and assign a different value. I'm going to use 75 kilograms this time, and I'll put a semicolon on there because I don't need the result to be printed back to me immediately. It's 75, I know that, I just typed it in. So now I want to go back and run that force calculation again. So I start pushing the up arrow, and I go up, and there it is. So there was the actual equation that I want to use again. So now I press enter on that, and now I get that result that you see there. And so if you're doing this quite a bit, then you might get sick of basically typing in the same commands over and over again into the command window, and you might start to wonder, well, can we do this in a better way? And of course we can. So what we're going to do, what I'm going to show you now, is how to make a thing called a script. So over here on this tab at the top here, you see this button that says New Script. So when I click on that, what happens is it opens up this new window, which is called the editor. And so in the editor here, basically I can type in MATLAB commands. So let's repeat our example from before. Mass is 75, and force is 9.81 multiplied by the mass. Now, a couple of things to notice here. I put the semicolon on the end for the mass variable because I don't want that one to be printed out to the screen. I don't need to know that. I typed it in. I don't need to see the program print out the answer. I did not put a semicolon here on the second line because that's the answer that I actually do want to have printed to the screen. And so MATLAB has put a little red underline and highlighted this equals statement here, and gives this little hint that if I want to suppress the output, then I should put a semicolon on the end. So that's basically what I was just talking about, but I don't want that to happen, so I'm just going to ignore that warning. And so now what I do is I come up here and I click the Save button. So we get a Save dialog, and so now we have to give a name for the script. And so what we notice here is that the scripts always end in .m, so the file extension is m, and so at the beginning here this is where I can supply the name, and so the rules here are the same as the rules for variable names. So you should not be using spaces, even though you can have spaces in file names. It will actually cause you some trouble in MATLAB if you do use that. So I recommend that you don't, and just simply use standard variable name rules, so underscores instead of spaces. So I'm going to call it force underscore calc. So now I press save. And so now let's just go back to the main MATLAB window. I'll show you over here on the left hand side, current folder. Here is the name of the script which I just saved, so I can see it there. I can double click on it here, and it will open up the editor window. So I can go in and edit my script. Can also come up here, have a look at this one. There's a run, a big play button here that says run. And so when I click on run, what will happen is that the script which I just created will be called. And so you see it actually types in here in the command window for me, types in this name force calc, which was the name of my script. And so this is why we don't want spaces, because this here needs to be just a simple call, a single word here to tell MATLAB that this is the script that we want to run. And so then the results of, or the script is executed, and so what happens is that all of the lines which are in this file are run by MATLAB. And so this is exactly the same as if I had typed these lines directly over here into the command window. But the convenient thing in this case is that if I want to go and make a change somewhere at the top of the file, then I no longer have to retype all of the lines beneath it. So suppose that this was a more complicated program and had many lines here, then you know that would save quite a bit of time. So I've made that change. There's a little asterisk here after the name to indicate that I haven't saved the file yet. So I press save, and then I press run, and you saw it change down here. We now have a new value which is calculated. So that's basically how you go about saving your MATLAB code to a script. So I can close off the editor. Over here, there's the right-click menu on this. It gives me a few different options. So open is the main one, which will bring us back into the editor. There's a few other nice little things I'll just point out quickly. When you put the cursor into a variable, so I clicked on to the value master, you see it actually highlights all the places in the program where that variable is used. So you can quickly see at a glance the way that your data is flowing through your program. So this value is assigned here, and then it's used at a later stage down here. So yeah, that's a convenient little feature. If I put the semicolon on the end here, then this little warning about suppressing the output will go away. But now, let's say I change this to something else. I'll just go back to the MATLAB window and run CLC so that the command window is completely cleared. And I'll also do clear, which will delete the variables in the workspace, like that. And so now I'll run my program. So another way to run it is to simply type the name into the command window. And I press enter, and nothing is printed. But you'll notice that the variables have reappeared over here into the workspace. So the reason why that nothing was printed is because I had semicolons on the end of all of these lines, but it doesn't matter. The results were still calculated, that these assignments were still done, these variables were assigned. It's just that the results were not immediately printed, and we can actually see the answers over here in this table in the workspace section of our window.